What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Seth the Lawn Surgeon, and as you can see, we have Naylor, the lawn care rookie, Paul Jameson, and we have Will Rice from Will's Lawn Service, and you already know what time it is. Tipsy talk. Alright, what's going on, guys? As you can see, I have guests on the channel. Will, Paul, Naylor. I don't know if y'all want to introduce yourself, or what's your name of your company?
Will's Lawn Service.
Name of your company?
Green Industry Podcast, Atlanta, Georgia.
Name of your company?
Oh man, I got so much stuff going on. You know, LCR Media.
Oh, that's right.
Clean Cut Lawn Care.
Man with a million names.
Virginia.
Known as the Lawn Care Rookie.
Yeah, known as the Lawn Care Rookie.
Previously known like Prince.
Yeah, previously known as the Lawn Care Rookie.
The player formerly known as.
Oh man, yeah.
So,
thanks for having us, Seth.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate it. And right now, we had just finished the podcast with Paul. We're down here in Lothian?
Mid-Lothian.
Lothian?
Mid-Lothian. He's stuck on Paul.
Lithonia.
Lithonia, there we go.
No, it's Mid-Lothian.
What's going on with me right now? I don't know. I asked Will. He said he doesn't have any battery power equipment.
No. Other than just like shop tools.
Yeah.
But no, nothing that I use on a regular basis battery powered wise.
I just recently bought an Atlas 80 volt chainsaw. I used it for a small job today.
Harbor Freight?
Yeah, Harbor Freight. It worked pretty good. Do y'all have any like battery powered stuff like trimmers, anything like that?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing? You?
No, the only battery power I have is backpack sprayers. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I do have those, and I've thought about. I really want to try the Milwaukee, the Quick Lock extended hedge trimmers for my hedge trimming, because I don't use the handheld ones anymore. I've gone to the extensions; they're so much easier to use. But I've wanted to try those as well as the chainsaw, just for little stuff.
Yeah. I always. When I first started out, I had an electric chainsaw, and with the plug-in one, a little plug-in one.
Well, see, I started with a plug-in leaf blower.
Yeah, and so when I went to a gas chainsaw, I'm like, there's no way that a battery-powered chainsaw is gonna have any power. So that's why I was always hesitant to go back to it. But this little chainsaw, I shouldn't say little, it's like an 18-inch bar on it, but it has some power to it, you know. But so how was your trip? How was your trip driving up so far?
It was good. No ticket.
No tickets?
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
And you've talked to 2 state troopers already.
Yeah.
Mitchell,
Mitchell Gordy in High Point, North Carolina, and yourself.
Yeah. Former.
And Stacy taught me in a 70 to go 75.
don't bring up. If you get pulled over, don't say Stacy told you.
At least in Virginia.
Yeah. But yeah. So.
And Naylor said to just go 70.
Yeah, so just follow the speed limit, Paul. You don't have to worry about it.
I follow traffic.
Yeah.
I just feel like you look skeptical if you like all of a sudden slow down, you start going all slow, you give yourself away.
Right. Yeah, like Stacy said once upon a time, don't bring attention to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, just
if you realize you're going fast and you pass a state trooper, just let off the gas pedal and let yourself slow down.
Well, it's not even that. Like if you have like a loud tailpipe or
don't go peeling out.
Yeah, you start off from a stoplight and you're like,
why don't you just come in my neck next time?
That's going to automatically draw attention to yourself. Or if a state policeman or a policeman is driving down the road and you just go flying past them, he's automatically going to start looking at your plates to see if the registration is expired, or see if your tail lights out.
I need to renew my plates before the end of the month.
But yeah, so that's what I don't understand. And I had a friend, he had 10 windows, and his windows were way below the legal limit.
It's now 50, isn't it? It was 35.
Well, no, it's 35 for your back windows and 50 for your front.
I thought your back could be as dark as possible.
On a truck.
Okay.
On the back,
a car.
On the back part of your truck.
Yeah. So like on mine, I have a 4-door, so my back 2 windows and the back window can be 0% if I wanted them to be.
Yeah. But I had a friend. His windows were like black, and he bought it. I don't know where he got it from. And instead of him taking the tint off, he used to drive with his windows down. and the funny part was, I was in my state police car on 64. And I drove past him, and it's like 33 degrees outside, and he got all his windows down. And he's like, hey.
Tint tickets aren't that expensive, are they?
I don't know.
He just didn't want to give.
They're like $30.
Well,
they're like $30, $40.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Henrico, the court cost is like $67 plus whatever the ticket is. People always ask me, how much are this ticket? I'm like, I don't know. I just write them. You know? I'm like, you got to call the court. You know?
Yeah.
Or pay online.
Yeah.
Back to battery powered. I didn't get to say this. There's a local company that I've seen that has like that new steel system where it's like a backpack that like plugs into all these different tools. Yeah, it's like a big battery backpack that they have now. And you can, I think Stan showcased it in one of his videos when they went to Virginia Beach, where Steel's headquarters are.
Is that
they invited a bunch
Nature's
of guys there. No, it wasn't Nature's Way. It was some small local company.
Okay.
But they, and I just thought that was cool. I was like, I've never seen that in person. And they were just out there, weed eating stuff.
We have
steel that was plugged into their backpack, and the guys are making fun of them. Like, look at these guys with their little kids' toys.
We have one company, and on our side of town, Kirby's. I ran into Super Lawn Trucks last year at GIE, and they were telling me about this. Kirby's bought a completely green setup. Like, the truck is, I think, natural gas, runs on natural gas or whatever for clean burning. And then they've got solar panels on the roof. It's a Super Lawn Truck, so it's one of the box trucks. And they've got the the mean green mowers or whatever it is, and all battery equipment in that truck, because they have customers that specifically request that stuff to be like battery powered equipment. They don't want the gas equipment.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Sorry. You know, Chris Kaiser was on the president of OPEI?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was just saying that the technology that's going into batteries, it's not going to be long until it's actually comparable to gas.
Yeah, cause that's my thing.
Well, there's pros and cons, but the power is going to be equal and sooner than we think.
I think it's a lot of people worry about battery life is why they stay away from it, which is why I've stayed away from it.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the middle of the yard and you got to swap stuff out.
Well, because like Johnny Moe, he tried the fuel trimmers, the 2 Milwaukee trimmers, and he said they wouldn't last him, and he went back to gas trimmers.
Yeah, my fear is not that it won't have enough
and the
power.
weight of the battery.
Yeah,
too.
It's not that it won't have enough power. It's that sometimes I'm out there and I stop at a house and if somebody's like, "Hey, can you cut my yard?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll cut that one and go to the next one." "Hey, can you cut my yard?" So now I might added 25% to my workload that day. But I didn't bring enough battery
to the battery because you kind of, I guess, with your regular workload, you know what you're using.
Yeah, and so that's why I didn't have the hesitancy in a chainsaw, because I don't use a chainsaw at every yard like I would do a trimmer or a mower for that.
Now, I could see a lot of guys using battery equipment for stuff they don't use as often.
Yeah.
Like if you're running a line trimmer every day, you're running a blower every day, you're running a mower every day, so you could justify gas for those. But like hedge trimmers and chainsaws and pole saws and stuff like that, I could see people running battery powered equipment.
I honestly think this company was doing it to like use that as like a
marketing.
Marketing. Like, hey, we don't use gas.
Well, like I was talking about, that's what they do with their truck.
Right. Yeah, and like I don't know, maybe you heard of Richmond Mowing. Have you heard of Richmond Mowing? But they're who I'm talking about. But
I don't know.
They have all push mowers, like the 30-inch, Toros, and an actual 21, 22 inches.
I take it they do yards like this size?
Yeah. I mean, they do big yards too, and they just have 3 or 4 guys out there just dividing and conquering the yards with these push mowers, and they just load them all up on their F-150s, and they just drive around.
You told me about them back in the day.
Yeah. So I mean, they have that.
Oh, you know what? I have
model.
heard of them now.
Yeah.
Now that I think of it, I have
everywhere. I would imagine. I'm like, how are these guys all over the place? I see them everywhere. So.
You want another one?
Yeah, might as well.
Oh.
It wouldn't be a tipsy talk if you're out of alcohol.
Yeah.
So, have y'all ever, like propane? Have y'all ever thought about switching to propane?
I have not, but I know that my local dealer, Kanabi Outdoor Power,
they just recently started.
they just recently became a propane dealer, and they also became a Wright dealer. Yeah. So they sell Wright mowers, and they can convert, whatever
propane conversion,
Toro or Wright, to propane. So
but I know BCLS runs a lot of propane.
Yeah, there's a bunch of companies around here. The big
Class A,
that do it.
which actually...
Weeded, have you heard of Weeded?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I know a couple people that work there, but Class A actually...
Oh, I know about Class A, yeah.
You heard about that? You heard about that? No, you heard about the story where the van caught fire and the propane tank started exploding?
Oh, yes, and it literally exploded. Yes. Nathan was telling me about that.
They lost
he bought
everything.
All this stuff from Kanabi.
Yeah.
He had to buy a whole new fleet all over again.
The van, they got in an accident and the van caught fire.
That's right.
And I think they had the propane tanks, because they use E-Series vans, because they've got 6 guys running on a truck, and like 3 or 4 of them go off with line trimmers, and 2 of them are on turf tracers just going to town. Because they do commercial like HOAs and stuff like that, so there's a lot of weed eating. But like, they got in an accident somewhere in Chesterfield, and the van caught fire and the propane tank started exploding. And they lost everything on that setup.
Yeah, so they had to buy all new stuff.
Yeah.
There's some.
That's one thing I'm scared about.
But I've never tried it myself.
Well, the company's like past your house. I know, because I was at Kanabi. They said the company is like way past your house.
Yeah.
And then the other office is like it's like up in Ashton somewhere, way past my house from that point.
BCLS?
I can't remember. But I'm like, there's no point. I mean, it's interesting.
I think it's cheaper, but I don't know how much
It's
cheaper.
supposed to save you in gas. It's definitely going to save you in gas. And it's also, so the two things that...
It's cleaner burning.
Yeah, the two things that I heard from, Kanabi and then the propane people is it's cleaner. I mean, it's you save in fuel and it's cleaner. So you can kind of upsell that. The same thing as using battery powered things.
And
you
I
can
think,
tell people, you're being better for the environment. You're quieter. You're not using as much gas. All that kind of stuff. So.
And I think I was talking to the owner of BCLS. I think he was saying they get about 8 hours out of a propane tank of runtime, 6 to 8 hours, depending on how big the tank is and how big the motor is.
Yeah.
So. But I haven't thought of it, because I think it's. The only place I think I have nearby me would be Tractor Supply to fill the propane tanks up, and I don't want to have to go there every day to fill the tank up.
Right.
Now, I mean, I could get 2 or 3 different tanks, but still.
Right.
It's so much easier. It might not be as clean, but it's so much easier and more convenient just to stop at a gas station.
Yeah.
What kind of yards do you have? Do you have a lot of bigger yards or smaller?
Small. Yeah.
And they use a lot of greens mowers, or real mowers.
Real mowers, so it cuts. We have warm season grass, so we don't have this fescue. This stuff, you guys have a couple of days like this where it's 100 degrees and it goes dormant or tan or brown. This can't handle Georgia. We got Bermuda and Zoysia, and we cut it low. So our mower goes like this. They're called a real mower.
It acts like a scissor.
It's like a scissor. Most guys have True Cut. There's other companies out there. And so yeah,
I've been thinking about trying to mix my yard with Zoysia. Well, I would still.
Well, Zoysia
see the fescue
spreads.
in the fall. That's what I'm saying. I know it's going to spread, but I would still see the fescue every fall.
Yeah,
and
until the Zoysia takes it, because the Zoysia will take over
in the summer, and then that way I will have more of a long-lasting lawn. I don't know if that
you'd probably be better off doing fescue and rye, because rye will stay green up through the winter.
Yeah.
I've never seen those two mix, but Zoysia is tan and dormant all winter.
Yeah.
And in the summer, you got to cut it super low. It doesn't perform when it gets high. Over 2.5 inches, it's
see, I have Zoysia yards
low,
that I cut at 3 inches, and sort of like in the spring they're brown. When it starts getting warm, they green up, and then now they're browned out again, I guess, because I'm cutting them too high.
But if you want Zoysia green in this climate, it definitely will be. You just got to scalp it in March in Atlanta, and then we cut it low all year long. It looks awesome.
Yeah,
so you know, just so you know, Paul, like we're in the transition zone, so we can grow. Like if you look at a grass map, we're right in the middle.
We talked about this last night a lot.
Yeah, you can grow warm season or cool season, but fescue, tall fescue specifically, because there's different types of fescue.
Yeah.
But tall fescue is our native grass that Virginia recommends. The state of Virginia recommends.
Yeah, but it
still
struggles
because it looks brown and
it's been.
And I see Naylor's video. I see your guys' videos when it's looking deep green and fresh and looks incredible. And I came, it's 100 degrees and it looks disappointing.
It's hurting.
Yeah. I mean, some stuff is still green, but I mean, like that was last week.
Yeah, no, that looks good. But I'm telling you, a Zoysia lawn cut at 1 inch or 1.5 inches in Georgia with a real mower.
That's crazy.
Man, you kill yards here.
That's why I can't imagine cutting a yard at 1
weeds
inch.
would just take over.
At the beginning of the year, and then it's hard to keep up with that because it's growing if you only cut it once a week. There's guys.
How often are y'all cutting?
There's guys a real mower that cut 3 times a week.
Wow.
Golf courses
Monday,
cut every
Wednesday,
single
Friday?
day. Real mower. A real mower on a golf course on the putting green and tee box where it's short.
Yeah.
And they put a turf
How
regulator.
short are they running? Like quarter inch,
It's
1/8
short,
inch?
dude. You ever play golf?
No,
It's tight.
I've never actually played
they
golf.
put-
It also grows thick too, so that's why there's no weeds or anything get in
It
there.
grows
It's
thick
like
and
nice,
spread,
thick
and they
turf.
put a turf regulator so it doesn't grow. It grows slower. So
It's rhizomal.
The
growth,
cheapos-
I think is the technical term for it. The roots rhizomal.
Yeah,
Or,
they grow under the ground.
Yeah.
Because some of
Well,
these
they grow under
jokers
and
say
come
we
up and
want our
grow under
yard
and come
done
up.
like the golf course, but they
Yeah.
only want to pay to have it cut once a week, and you're like, you can't have your yard look like a golf course
Once a week.
when they cut it every single day.
Yeah.
You need to have it cut 3 days a week. If you want to do it 1 day a week, it's going to be a little bit taller, but
Right.
you're going to end the year at 1 inch, or in 1.5 inches, 2 inches. If you're at 2.5 inches, you kind of lost it. So
And
it's a different ball game, dude.
And so that's what type of grass is on the golf courses?
Bermuda or Zoysia.
Uh-huh.
It depends. And then
It's crazy because then you go down to Florida and you've got St. Aug that they're cutting high.
that's a totally different kind of grass.
Yeah.
But Atlanta's a Bermuda town, but Bermuda needs 8 hours of sunlight, so it would do good back here. But under a tree, you can't grow.
What do y'all do? What do you do under trees? Do you just kind of
Zoysia.
mulch out to the?
Zoysia
pine
needs 4 to
straw?
5 hours of sunlight underneath shady areas. Zoysia, open sun, Bermuda.
That's why I have a customer.
Now, do they blend pretty well together? Like, do they look kind of the same?
You can tell the difference.
Yeah, I got a customer last year. She told me to put Bermuda in her yard, and just like you said, I told her. I said, well, for my research, it says Bermuda needs lots of sunlight.
A lot of
And
sunlight.
she got this big giant tree in her yard, and right around the tree is no grass. It's like no grass.
Yeah, we've done so much sod over the years because there'll be a canopy of a tree and then it'll be stressed underneath, and be like, we'll put sod in and they'll die if you don't limb it up or remove the trees.
Just tell them to make a mulch bed. That's what I say.
Well,
Put a
pine
big
straw
mulch
in
bed
his
there.
case. They do pine straw down there.
I did pine straw for the first time this week. And I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I got way too many. I got 70 bales and I only needed 40.
So how do y'all measure pine straw? Because that's a
I
general,
don't-
like, with mulch, you measure length
Square
times
foot.
width times height for us.
Yeah, you just eyeball it. That's 100 bales. That's 100.
Yeah, see, that's
square
how I
foot
am
does
with
one
mulch.
bale do?
It depends if you put it thick or thin, or who's spreading it. Cheque or Alberta? You got different guys. You remember Cheque?
I remember them.
Check it.
Now,
Yeah.
doesn't it
My God.
sort of over time kind of compress as it gets like rained
It
on
compresses
and
and
stuff
it
like
goes
that?
from a red to a tip brown. It's ugly. I still don't understand. Mulch looks so much better.
No, like
No, I know
would you
why. It's
want
because
that?
that golf tournament. I don't know to look at you or them,
Oh, no.
Look at both.
but your voice. I'm an audio sound engineer guy, and when you look this way,
It doesn't
that
pick up as
mic.
much.
Yeah, that's why I keep looking at that.
Yeah.
That mic. But there's a golf tournament called the Masters
Yeah.
Yeah.
at Augusta, and they have Bermuda, Zoysia, and pine
pine
straw.
straws.
So
Everybody
everyone
wants
wants
that.
their yard to look like Augusta National Golf Course.
Oh,
That's why they have pine straw, and it's cheaper. But I think Naylor's mulch
I don't
job
even.
here.
Where did you get pine straw? Southern states? Because
It comes from pine
Site
trees. Will.
Site one.
I was meaning.
Specifically.
No, I know that. I was meaning like where can we buy it in our area because it's not
Site one.
popular.
You have a kite
Yeah, I've
contract at Site
got
one?
a-
Yeah.
Account with them.
But in South Georgia, the pine trees drop it and they roll it up and they sell it.
So do they just have
pine
like?
trees all in my
Do they
yard.
just have a
There
tree
you go. You
farm?
should start selling pine straw.
Oh yeah.
Do they just have like a tree farm?
Oh,
that
it's
just
quite the
drops
scene in mid to South Georgia.
How do they rake it or roll it or anything? Like that? Is
guys
it machines?
Yeah.
Do they do it by hand?
They roll it.
Well, what
so
I noticed
clean.
by the bale, when I was breaking it up out the little string, it was like in sheets. It was like a sheet of it, sheet of it, sheet of it, sheet of it. And so as you break it out the string, you take a sheet of it, you spread that, take a sheet of it and spread it. So somehow
How are y'all bales set up?
they're stacking it like that.
Yeah.
Is that how y'all's is too? Or
Yeah.
Okay. Because I always thought it was like a hay bale, where it's just kind of everything is compressed in a square, and you just undo it and you just start shaking it to spread it out.
Yeah, no, it's totally different.
Yeah, because I got a whole bunch of pine trees in my yard, and I was like, I need to start gathering my pine cones and spraying them with Febreze. You ever seen like in the stores where they be like, yeah, pine cones?
Or just do the dusting of white spray paint and sell them in the winter.
They put them in a little net and sell 5 of them.
Yeah, I'm like, I got pine trees all in my yard, and people paying like $5-10 for this, just for their house to smell good.
Or tie a little ribbon to them and put a hook on them and sell them as ornaments.
That's funny. Yeah, I haven't gotten any pine straw requests, so.
I'm surprised.
I think I've had one, and I told the lady, I'm like, I have no idea, A, how to do pine straw, B, where to get it. So I can do mulch, but that's about it.
But yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, I don't know where to get it from. And so I kept calling everybody. He was like, well, in Raleigh, you could just go to Lowe's and get some bales. I was like, well,
I'm not driving to Raleigh to go get some bales of pine
That's what I thought about it, though. I was
yeah.
like, how much would I charge him to drive to Raleigh?
Raleigh, North Carolina?
Yeah.
$1 a mile.
That's a little ways.
$1 a mile.
Yeah, what based on your videos and stuff like that, it looks like you've got like totally different yards sometimes than what I have over here. So it almost seems like they would prefer pine straw more over there than mulch here.
No, actually, the neighborhood, nobody had pine straw. It was just the heat from North Carolina.
Oh.
And then as I'm doing it, people driving by all slow like, why
what
are you
putting
doing? Pine straw in the yard?
Why are you putting that garbage in the yard? You're supposed to be raking that out of the bed, not put it in there.
Now, I won't mulch under evergreens because they drop so much and it gets covered. So like if it's a pine tree, when I'm doing the leaf cleanup, I'll try and feather the leaves out of the pine needles, and I'll just blow the pine needles back up under the tree, roll them over, because I know that's the thing. I'll take the blowers and roll the edges, and I'll just do that and let that be natural, and try and get as much of the leaves out of it as possible to make it look half decent. Now, do y'all cut in a bed edge when y'all do your pine straw?
If you have the machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got like Stiller Echo's got a bed redefiner.
Yeah, and I've got an actual big.
If not, you just use an edger. Yeah. It's like a shovel. It's the same as you do for mulch jobs.
Mm-hmm. You just.
But it's easier to finesse it around the edges because you just blow under the pine straw and it puffs it up and it makes a nice edge.
Yeah. I still pack down over time.
Mulch is so much more aesthetically pleasing than pine straw. I don't understand it.
But for that's just what they
I don't understand
it.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they ask for it, you give it.
No, but I'll be like, Randy, you have a beautiful yard. Like, get some mulch.
Yeah, right.
I want pine straw. Like,
I want pine straw.
They all want pine straw. It's weird.
But people do get mulch down here.
Well, now
there is mulch, but it's just not.
It's not as prevalent.
You're not going to see as much red mulch up here as you would if you were like in Florida. I've seen pictures of guys working in Florida. They love some red mulch down there.
Does the weeds grow in the pine straw?
Oh yeah, weeds grow in the pine straw.
Yeah, I mean it does.
It does.
It's like
they just grow everywhere. Weeds just grow everywhere.
Yeah, but when the pine straw is thick, then the sun can't hit the weed to give it,
Well,
so
see, mulch is like that too, but like as the mulch decomposes, there's seeds in the mulch.
Yeah, but I feel like pine straw is fluffed up more that blocks it more.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why
I don't think it. But I think because mulch is more closer to
dirt.
Yeah, so when
it breaks down and turns into dirt.
Yeah, because that's what I tell my customers.
Wood.
Like the bottom layer is basically turning into dirt when you keep piling it up every year.
Yeah. Which is why, because I've had people ask me to rake the old mulch out and put new mulch in. I'm like, it's decomposing. All we have to do is just do a real thin layer.
I just tell them no, thank you.
Like, well, I mean, I'll tell them like I'll do thin layers for a couple of years, and then I'll come in and put a thick layer down, and then do thin layers for another couple of years, and let the old stuff decompose, and just kind of keep building on it. And like obviously with the trees, try and keep it off the base of the tree so high that it doesn't mess up the root system. Because like you see the mulch volcanoes, and those roots are going to go through the mulch. And if you try and rake it away, it's so unhealthy for the trees. It drives me insane when I see the mulch volcanoes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just like crepe murder, you know. Just
I'm guilty of that.
Well,
I think all of us are.
Just
cutting the top.
I've never.
Yeah.
I'm not. I've never done.
You're supposed to trim a crepe myrtle to see through it, not over it.
Yeah, the first.
Well, I cut anything going out.
Yeah.
And anything crossing.
Let it go. Yeah,
anything crossing, anything out, but you're not supposed to top them.
Right.
Yeah.
Now see.
It's supposed to be more of like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Just so that, because what happens is when you top them all, they all grow at the same time. They all bash into each other.
Yeah.
It becomes this big nasty bush, and they all just hang over, and
well,
it just causes more damage.
A lot of people.
If you stagger the cuts, then they all grow at different heights, and it's more natural.
Well, a lot of people
don't have to
plant
do that every
them
year either.
so close to like buildings and whatnot that you have no choice but to top them.
Well,
because they grow so big and so wide.
The wrong crepe myrtle too close to the house. That's why landscapers like
I have crepe myrtles.
This is a crepe myrtle. We just planted. In 10 years, it's going to be a big old tree. But we planted it far enough away from the house.
Yeah, see, I have crepe myrtles like 5 feet away from buildings and whatnot, so I have no choice but to come in and top it every year because all the shoots grow out everywhere.
Right. Yeah, so that's just poor planning all the way around. But I remember one of my first like legit like lawn care customers after I quit retail. And I was just sitting there, you know, over the winter trying to like figure out what am I going to do, how am I going to get the ground running in the spring. And I'm getting my name out there, doing all these odd jobs, you know. And the big thing was Facebook, right? I lived in a HOA similar to this over across the way, and I was on the Facebook group. That's a closed Facebook group. Only you that live there can be on there. So there's like 700 houses, you know, potentially that are on Facebook on that group. So I'd always post stuff on there to promote my business. And somebody that moved here actually, that used to live there, was still in the Facebook group, but she messaged me and said, do you know how to prune crepe myrtles? We just moved into this new house. We don't live in the Grove anymore, but we moved over to Charter Colony, and this house has this big overgrown crepe myrtle. And I was like, before I responded, I was looking up crepe myrtle. What the heck is that? How do I prune it? And I just binge watched a bunch of videos and read all this stuff. And then I got back to her. Sure, I can do that.
Again,
I'll come out and take a look at it and give you a price.
What'd you charge her?
Oh, I don't even remember. It was probably like $100 or something. And it took me like all day to like cut it, clean it up, shove it in my F-150 in the back, go to the dump. I was just like, that's awful.
So what's y'all's first price that you charge somebody to cut a yard?
$25.
$25.
I actually,
wow, $35 was the lowest I ever went.
Well, they were neighbors 2 doors down from me. It was a guy and his daughter. They lived across the street from each other, and I still cut them to this day, and I still have not raised my price because I just don't feel right about it. I was cutting them before I could drive. I was like 11, 12 years old, just walking around the neighborhood with a push mower, but I still cut them to this day.
Yeah, my first customer was $25 too, but then she dropped me. And then she called me back this year, and I'm like 50.
But like I've just had them for so long. Like I know I'm not making hardly anything, if anything, on these 2 properties. But it's just something about it that's like I don't feel right about raising the price because I've had them for 6, 7, 8 years. Before I actually had my actual business, I was just doing the neighborhood thing.
Right.
But I mean, They do pay well. Like I charge them what I should for like mulch and bushes and stuff like that. But with grass cutting, I just don't feel right about.
That's one thing I've learned.
Some people are like, oh, you need to raise the price on them. You're not making any money. But it's like I don't feel right about
it's right
doing
down
that.
your street. It's right down the house, right?
It's literally my house, my neighbor, and then the one 2 doors down is the one I cut, and his daughter's across the street.
Right. But to your point, like I think that's something that I've done before too, where I'm like, you know, I'm gonna make sure, like when I know I screwed up on the mowing price, like at least I know I can get the other prices right. Like I know my mulch, you know,
and you can gradually raise that price as you go. But see, with me, I've had them for so long, it just I don't feel right about coming to them and saying, oh, now your price is $60. You paid $25 all these years. Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, well, I appreciate it. These bugs are starting to
eat us alive
in these streets.
Yeah.
Naylor's lakefront property.
Behind
the camera is a big lake.
You probably got like a fest of mosquitoes living in that.
Mosquito breeding ground.
They only come out at
that water, man. I don't like snakes.
They only come out at night. But we don't have the fire going. It's because it's like 100 degrees. So if the fire was going, that keeps the bugs away.
Yeah, Stacy got a little washcloth. Now I was like, what's that for? Now I know.
Yeah, but I just buy washcloths. I use it all day, and then I get home and I throw it away. I buy it from Dollar Tree or something like that.
That's good. Those are some good. I should look into that.
Yeah.
Nice.
But anywho,
I just keep an old bath towel in this.
I appreciate you guys joining me for a Tipsy Talk.
No problem.
Appreciate being on here.
Yeah, check these guys out. Will's Lawn Service, Green Industries Podcast, LCR Media, Lawn Care Rookie, Naylor Talifero,
GIE Facebook page.
Yeah, Road to the GIE on Facebook. Yeah, that's about it.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. Yes, sir.
See you guys later.